and welcome back to another video on the JJ Think Tank. I've got a bit more time today, so I want to create another video, and in this one I'll talk about the Iranian-Polish connection, the new Polish logos that could possibly appear, based on Sarmatism, based on Sarmatia, and the new Polish nobility that hopefully will arise soon and will create a golden age, a new golden age for Poland, a nice small regional empire for the beautiful Polish nation, and the importance of this period of time in Poland known as Sarmatism in English, Sarmatism or Sarmacja. In Polish it's Sarmacja. And I bought a book recently about this. It's called Sarmacja, Czarna legenda złotego wieku. Czarna legenda złotego wieku, written by Artur Warych. So in English we will translate it as the dark legend of the golden era. And obviously there is a lot of propaganda against the period of time in Poland known as Sarmatism, against this ideology perhaps, or this logos of Sarmatism, of the Iranian-Polish Sarmatism and its logos. So, for instance, on Netflix we had this program, yes, that made fun of Sarmatism, called 1670. That made fun of the Szlachta, yes. So obviously this is a concerted effort at kind of denying Poland's sovereignty, in my view. Szlachta 16, I think it's called 1670. Szlachta nie pracuje, yeah. Szlachta nie pracuje. So this is a program that completely denigrates the Polish-Iranian connection, yes, the cult of Sarmatism, the logos of Sarmatism. Of course, the Szlachta was a reason why the Polish state eventually crumbled, yes, why the Polish state eventually got partitioned. I mean, perhaps there is some truth to that. Obviously, I don't know too much about the issue. I haven't, as I said, I haven't read this book. I know a bit, obviously, about Polish history. I've read a few books about Polish history, but not specifically about Sarmatism. Yes, not specifically about Sarmatia. So perhaps after I read this book, I will create another video and share my insights. Yes, but it's clear that there is this kind of logos in Poland that is important. Yes, the Szlachta as a social group is important in Poland, and it has a role to play in Polish history and in the future. So here is a beautiful painting I found of the Szlachta, standing in front of a tent. Szlachcice. And there's a famous line from Pantadeusz, which reads: "Szabel nam nie zabraknie, szlachta na koń wszędzie, ja z synowcem na czele i jakoś to będzie." Szabel nam nie zabraknie, szlachta na koń wszędzie, wszędzie, ja z synowcem na czele i jakoś to będzie. This is, I think, an old Polish word. Wszędzie. Na koń wsiądzie. Yeah? Now we say wsiądzie na koń. Maybe, or wszędzie, maybe this is an old Polish word. But anyway, yes, so there is this, clearly there was this social group in Poland, the Szlachta, which had an important role to play in Polish history, both for good and for ill, yes. And what is important now, with the new Szlachta appearing in Poland, the new elite, is for them to be unified, yes? Because if they are unified, then they will be able to build this Polish nation, this mini Polish empire in our region, yes? But if they are not unified, then this will not occur. And this is why I created this video, really, to talk about this, to perhaps spread this message to people watching outside of Poland, Polonia, or even to Polish people based in Poland, yes. I want to create more videos in Polish as well. At the moment I'm just speaking in English because English is in many respects my first language. But I actually use Polish more throughout my life, because at home I spoke Polish with my sisters and my family, my parents. I had some friends from Poland that I spoke to. So in many respects, Polish as well is kind of my first language. Unfortunately, I still make a lot of mistakes when I speak Polish, but because obviously Slavic languages, they're completely different, and the ending, they have this specific grammar that is difficult to completely absorb. So I still make mistakes, but anyway, I want to go into my article now, cover some more points. So what was the Szlachta? Yes, so the Szlachta, the word derives from a sword. Szlachta is or szabel. Szlachta. It's linked, I believe, to the szabel, and szabel is a sword. Yes, and the Szlachta was a noble social class that existed between the 14th and 18th century in Poland, and they based kind of their identity on Iranian Sarmatism, and there is this theory that Poland has some genetic admixture from Iran, yes. So it's an ancient Indo-Iranian tribe eventually wound its way to Poland, and there is this kind of Iranian blood, yes. So we can check this actually. From ancient Iranian, you see the unify belief that the descended from the ancient Iranian Sarmatians, the legendary invaders of contemporary Polish and Roman lands in antiquity. So there is this theory in history that about this, and we can see here some Eastern motifs, yes, in their attire. So this is Stanisław Antoni Sztuka, and this is the szabla that he has here. So. And I guess this is reflected because Iranians, it's strange because I've met a lot of Iranians recently in London, and I get good vibes from them. I have some form of a connection between them. It's strange, on a subconscious level. They're starting to appear more in my life, and yes, the Iranians, they're very cultured, they're very refined. I mean, Persia is a really ancient civilization. They contributed a lot to human history, to the development of humanity, and yes, so there certainly is in Poland this strain of Eastern Orientalism, yes, based on from Iran, yes. So anyway, moving on, let's talk a bit about the Szlachta itself now. And they constitute up to 50% of the population and were not subservient to the king. And I guess this is important because if there is a noble class that is not totally subservient to the king, it allows for freedom to develop. And this is what happened. We had this golden age of liberty in Poland. And it was different from Russia in this respect, because Russia has always been under the control of a Tsar, yes, a big man, a big boss Tsar, yes, who had power, yes, and he could just get rid of his opponents. So we can think of Ivan Grozny, for example. He just killed all his opponents. He was crazy. He was a madman. But paradoxically, obviously, he expanded the Russian state. But yes, he was a bit crazy. Other dictators like Stalin as well. He was a bit of a crazy dictator. Again, with Russia, there is this paradox, yes, that they are under the influence of this Tsar, who causes despotism, but at the same time he builds the Russian state. Yes, there is progress is seen at the same time. If we look back in hindsight, Russia is progressing. Yes, so yes, there's that. So yes, we can see that this is a major way in which Poland differs from Russia. The Szlachta had power to kind of influence the politics, yes, of the state. But the problem with this was that eventually there was too much liberty, really, and when there's too much liberty, your nation can be exploited, yes, from neighboring powers and from within, and eventually this liberty can lead to a loss of law and order, and I guess this is what happened. Yes, so I understand the criticism of the Szlachta. It's true that perhaps they caused this, yes, and also the Szlachta they enslaved really a lot of chłopy. So chłopy are peasants. Well, chłopy is a name for peasants. It's a word that can be translated into the English equivalent, peasants, and they were pretty much enslaved. Yes, during this time, the Szlachta also were hated in general, I believe, by Ukrainians, because they also perhaps enslaved, yes, Ukrainians. Obviously, I don't want to talk too much now about this issue because I don't know too much about the history, yes, of this era. Perhaps I'm wrong, so I don't want to talk too much because I might be spouting nonsense. But I understand that there might be criticism against the Szlachta at the same time. So, anyways, it's fascinating anyway because I believe there is this kind of Sarmatic logos. Yes, we can Sarmatic. I guess this is a word we can use. This Sarmatic Iranian-Polish logos that had an influence on the development of Poland in the past. And now, because Poland hasn't been in a war for 80 years, we can see that Poland is on a much better footing. And hopefully this continues. We want Poland to develop even more, to not be forced into a war that is not of her own choosing. And ultimately, this I think, my intuition is that this new Polish nobility that is appearing, they need to unify. They just need to care more about Poland than politics, really, or their internal little squabbles. They need to think about the people and about the nation. And hopefully this transpires, yes. Menson, Sikorski, Grzegorz Braun, Bosak, who else do we have? I mean, even Donald Tusk, Kaczynski, they just need to unify, yes, for a change. Obviously, they have to engage in a process of dialectics and debate, but ultimately, it's one Poland, yes. We need to make sure that Poland survives and that we are able to create this mini empire, yes, alongside Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, parts of Ukraine as well. I would add as well to this little empire that we should create, yes. And this will be the best move, I think, for Poland at this stage, at this moment in time. And this Sarmatic logos can inspire, yes, the new Polish nobility to unify, yes, to notice their noble nature and to create a great Poland for us. Enough of the internal party squabbles, and it's time to unite, yes. So yes, I think that is the end of my video. I'm just checking my article now because perhaps I missed something out. Well, I guess yes, Poland is a country between East and West, so this whole speculation of mine is not based on nonsense, yes, because it's clear that Poland has these Eastern influences, and because the fact that there is this talk about the Iranian-Polish Sarmatic Logos that it even appeared in history via the movement known as Sarmatism. It shows that clearly there is some link there. Yes, there is a link there. It's not based on just speculation or just made up nonsense. Yes, so clearly this is true, and yes, it's fascinating. Once I read this book, I'll review it and share my insights. It was written by Artur Warych. So here he is. He's a historian and podcaster. That's a photo of him there. I'd like to find out more about the culture of Sarmatism, of what the Szlachta did, what they engaged in, what activities, etc. So here we've got actually a couple of hound dogs. So we've got a deer with horns. So the deer are beautiful creatures. I love to look at them. They're beautiful. Anyway, niech żyje Polska! Niech żyje Polska! Niech żyje Rzeczpospolita Polska! And with that, I would like to end my video. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help me grow the channel and spread more vital information that I think will help a lot of people out there, both people in the West and people in Poland in general. And if you like the video even more, consider donating at Buy Me a Coffee. I'll provide a link in the description. But yes, that's all for today. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I appreciate you spending your precious time on the JJ Think Tank. And yes, take care and have a great day.